Gotta organize this place. You guys got it a mess. You can't be doing all this. Right. So ahead of time, if y'all want to just set your Bibles to like Matthew 12, right there in the beginning, you can do that. But I'm going to bounce around a little bit. I'm going to be here and there. Just to piggyback off Nick a little bit with the missionary moment. James might have told you. He might not have told you. I don't know. Maybe I'm spilling the beans on it a bit. But he was nominated for the North American Mission Board, right? So he got approved with that last week. So that's kind of cool that we have a voice for that board here that's spreading missions right here in the United States. And at the same time, I was nominated to the IMB, which is the International Mission Board. So our tiny little town of Crawfordville has two voices through the Southern Baptist Convention. So it's kind of a neat thing right here. I'll be in that position until 29, and James will be in his position until 2030. I'm a layman, and they have to have a certain amount of laymen that do that position, just like you guys, no different. But they don't want all pastors to fill those positions there. And pray for James and Elena as they are navigating that fire. I'm sure that is devastating to the family. Today we're going to talk about rest. I planned on talking about rest because James was going. He was supposed to take a rest. He was supposed to take a vacation, go to the Southern Baptist Convention, and then afterwards he was going to go on vacation a little bit, have a family reunion, but a little bit of a snag got them. And one more thing I wanted to say before, I'm so sad that the kids left. I was just thinking, I was like, you know what is the sound of a healthy church? Is babies making noise and men singing. And that's not derogatory against you women. I'm just saying a healthy church you hear the voice of men and you hear the voices of babies in the crowd. I love it. So you guys are doing good here, and I want to just congratulate this little congregation on that. So rest, God gives us a definition of rest. He gives us a type of rest that he wants to have. He gives us a rhythm of life. And he does that in Exodus in the Ten Commandments. When he does it, he says, this Exodus 20, verse 8, he says, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work. But the seventh day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, you or your son or your daughter or your male servant or your female servant or your livestock or the sojourner that is within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea and all that is in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and made it holy." So he gave us a little bit of a prescription, a little bit of a description of what he wants for us in a rhythm of life. He says, you go and you work your days, and then you have a day of rest, something that's a little different, something that is not necessarily completely restrictive. But we have a time from then until even today that the rabbis took that law and they dangled it over the people because they continued to give them regulations upon regulations on that law. It's the only ceremonial law that we have in the Ten Commandments. Man, it's blowing me around. So I wanted to just go over a list of things. This is from a Jewish website. It's authorized, Shabbat.org. It's not anybody trying to make fun of them, but we might find some of these things a little ridiculous. It's not even an extensive list, but you're going to hear it. It's pretty extensive. It says and they're also old and up to today. It doesn't stop at Jesus. Just so y'all understand that. Activities that cannot be performed on the Sabbath are basic tasks connected with preparing the showbread of the temple. Sowing, plowing, reaping, binding, threshing, winnowing, selecting, grinding, sifting, kneading, baking. Work related to making the coverings of the tabernacle and the vestments used by the priest. Shearing sheep, bleaching, carding, dyeing, spinning, stretching material, making two loops, the beginning of sewing, threading needles, weaving, separating, tying a knot, untying a knot, sewing, tearing. Activities concerned with writing in the preparation of parchment from animal skin. Trapping, hunting, slaughtering, skinning, curing hides, scraping pelts, marking out a hide to make ready for cutting, writing, erasing, constructing, that's building or demolishing, kindling a flame, lighting or extinguishing, carrying from one private domain, private to public domain, or vice versa, and putting the finishing touches to a piece of work already begun before the Sabbath. Those things kind of seem like, okay, like if we're Jews during that time and our job in the wilderness was to construct the temple, these are the kind of things that you would do. Nothing really that we would do so much today. So he's saying, this temple time that you have, you just need to ease up, get your rest. We'll start it again tomorrow. But he says, similarly, agreeing to buy something was prohibited because most agreements are confirmed in writing. Climbing a tree is forbidden because it may lead to breaking twigs or tearing leaves, which could be construed as reaping. It's separating a part of a growing plant from its source. Other activities that by extension are prohibited on the Sabbath include the following. So I appreciate you guys being kind with me, letting me read this. I'm trying to do the best I can. Adding fresh water to a vase of cut flowers. Sowing, that's considered sowing. Any activity that causes or furthers plant growth. Making a bouquet of flowers. That's considered making a sheaf. Separating good fruit from spoiled fruit. That's winnowing, selecting, or sifting. Brushing dry mud from your boots or clothing. It's considered grinding. Cutting hair. I hear the giggles. That's why I say it's not I'm not trying to make fun of them. I said it'd be a little ridiculous because it just sounds ridiculous to this. But this is what they adhere to, or they try to adhere to. All right. Cutting hair or nails. That's considered shearing sheep, removing outer covering of a human or animal. Men, do not call your ladies a sheep if they are cutting their nails. That might be offensive, possibly. Applying makeup, it's considered dyeing. Braiding hair is weaving. Drawing blood for a blood test is slaughtering. Rubbing soap to make lather. Applying face cream, polishing shoes. Using scouring powder for utensils or other surfaces is scraping, smoothing the surface of any material by grinding, rubbing, or polishing. Sharpening a pencil, cutting to shape or altering the size of a shape to an item to make it better for human use. Painting, drawing, typing, writing, that's making durable marks on a durable material. Tearing through lettering on package is considered erasing. Opening an umbrella or unfolding a screen is building. Smoking a cigarette, using the telephone would be considered. Switching off an electric light is extinguishing a fire. Setting or winding a clock or a watch is finishing off a task that you started before the Sabbath. Wearing eyeglasses, not permanently required, is considered carrying from private to public domain, and vice versa. So a lot of things are pretty odd. They're one thing, but you can see where they brought something that was meant for men, something that is to give you rest and give you leisure for a time to recoup a little bit of the energy that you've been expelling, what they have done throughout time to now. You can not do anything on the other. And they would, even today, I've got a refrigerator that we just bought. And, I mean, it's 3 months old, and I see a light on it, and it says Sabbath. And I was like, what does the Sabbath button mean on my refrigerator? I have no idea. And then I just never looked it up, and I couldn't care less because I was like, my refrigerator better not rest for a day. Keep working. I didn't want to push it just in case. It's like, well, all my meat's gone. You know how expensive that is. So there's a Sabbath button on my refrigerator. And the reason is, if I open the door to my refrigerator, what happens? The light comes on, right? So if you're a observant Jew, you can have a refrigerator like mine. It's a Jewish refrigerator. And you push the button, and when you open the door, it doesn't light up. So you're not breaking. And I just thought you might need to kind of understand that it's not just a simple burden that was saying, don't do this, don't do that, just kind of stay home and relax. It was by far anything from that. And they actually had a couple ways to kind of get away with, like, skirting the law. Is they had this thing, and I don't know if I'm saying it right. Is it Shabbos Goy? It's a non-Jew hired